Hey y'all, I'm so excited. Tonight we are going to be interviewing a man that is out in California. Okay, so I'm really um it's crazy because I have the Mass Exodus podcast, right? And um I haven't had any episodes. But I'm glad that yeah, okay, we have him backstage now. I don't know if we're gonna be able to hear him, but if we're not, maybe y'all can hear him, but I can't hear him. But I'm just gonna go ahead and get started because we have a lot of stuff to cover. Hopefully y'all can hear what he's saying. But this is so epic. Okay, I'm gonna tell y'all why it's epic. It's epic because we have a person who used to be an exotic dancer, me, who's interviewing somebody who used to be a pimp. Okay, and these are two people that are not really desirable in society, and so just to have us as advocates of people who are transitioning from sex work, whether it's trafficking or just whatever sex work that they're involved in, I think that that's pretty amazing. And in light of it being Black History Month, we are Black history. We are making Black history. We are Black, and we are doing stuff to help our community. And so I wanted to highlight some things that are happening that are very important to us. Okay, so I'm going to introduce Mr. Armand King, who is 38. He is the co-founder of the nonprofit Paving Great Futures, and he's the author of Raised in Pimp City. King guides others out of prison, pipeline, criminal activity, and domestic human sex trafficking. Armand's duties with Paving Great Futures include creating and implementing new programs, serving current and former gang members, criminal justice involved individuals, and high risk youth. I want to welcome, I'm going to clap too, Mr. Armand King. Woo!
Hello. You can't hear
I can hear you. I can hear you.
You can hear me?
We win.
Yeah, boy. Man, I'm
win.
happy. Yeah. Hey, let it happen how it's supposed to happen.
Yes. I'm so excited. Okay, so first of all,
me too.
Okay, first of all, let's just talk about this fact right here.
Wait,
so
hold on. What fact? You scaring me. What fact we talking about?
Me and you've been Facebook friends for years. Did you know that?
We've been Facebook friends for years, like multiple years, like more than 365.
Yeah. And so what happened was when you were brought up for the other show that I was on, I was like, I think I saw that book.
Yeah.
I saw that book. Because yeah, that book is very familiar. So when I started looking at it, I said, yes, that's the book. And so one of the co-hosts actually.
What book?
The book is called, wait.
Raised in Pimp City?
Yes. Do you have a copy of your book? Can you hold up your book? Raised in Pimp City? Do you have that?
I do.
Okay, well look, this is the thing right here.
Your book, please.
So this, if you guys, yes, that's Raised in Pimp City. And so I have a book called Scriptures for Strippers, right? Ooh. And so people were telling me about, these provocative names for books and everything. And I'm going to go ahead and just screen this down here just so people know where to find information about you. Is that right? Where they can people can contact you? ArmandKing.com and Paving Great Futures?
Right. That's
okay. Okay. So if anybody's interested while we're talking. Okay, what you say? Uh-oh. Here we go. If anybody's interested in following anything that he is doing while he is giving his background story, please feel free to look at his websites here. But I want to go ahead and ask him some questions when he unfreezes. Hello? And get this interview started. So let me pull up my questions and hopefully he gets that squared away. But I'm so excited, y'all, because I'm gonna tell you something. I had a conversation with somebody about whether or not it was possible for somebody who was in the industry. Okay, he's gonna go out and come back in. Whether people who are survivors can be advocates, right? And of course they can. But we had a discussion about whether or not it was possible for people who have been pimps to be advocates and to be, and what part of the movement could they become, could they attach themselves to? How could they be helpful? Or if there was even a place for them in the movement. And so that's why this is so exciting, is because, you know, even as an exotic dancer, because exotic dancing is not illegal, it's not really that taboo. I mean, it's taboo, but it's not against the law. They really don't have any um help for people like that. And so to just hear that there is a man who is dedicating his life to helping men come out of being victimizers and pimps, I just really wanted to get him on here, because we also have to make sure that as we talk about sex trafficking and sex trafficking advocacy, the movement, awareness, or whatever, we have to continue to move the movement forward and get help for the people who are transitioning. So I'm going to add him again. All right, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. I'm
Awesome.
so sorry. I don't know what's happening. Maybe
That's okay.
okay.
It's okay. So this is the thing. I want you to just talk about what you want to talk about. For the people who don't know you, you may want to introduce yourself. But I do have some questions I want to ask you so that we can have a poignant discussion about moving the movement forward, because that's what we need to be talking. That's what nobody else is talking about. That's why me and you got to have this conversation ourselves. Because being on other people's platform, you know, they always have the same question. They want to talk about the same thing, raise the money for the same stuff. And so, you know, we tired of that and we through. So we're doing what we
Okay.
can do.
All
Go
right,
ahead.
I'm gonna say something right now to you that I've never the way I'm about to say and what I'm about to say is probably clearer than it's ever been, and I'm gonna say it right now for the first time with this conversation with you, real clear, and just because of things that's been happening recently, like this hasn't been easy being the person that's claiming to be an ex pimp and coming out and saying that there's no other people really purposely saying that and doing it like I'm doing it with the help and all that, but for one, I don't condone the lifestyle. I'm not pro pimp. I'm not pro prostitution. I'm not. I understand why not all human sex trafficking. I don't. I understand why my friends, my homegirls, my sisters, my family members, I understand why we got into it.
Yes.
There was a reason. It wasn't that we none of them were monsters, not male, female. None of them were evil people, but it was a set of situations and circumstances at that time that made this a viable option for their life.
Right.
Before that, it's never been good for, I'm being very specific for Black folks in this Black History Month. It's never been good for us in this country. So yes, I'm a former this, but I'm also a former a lot of other things. And then there's a lot of priests and reverends that are former pimps, former drug dealers. Thank you, God, for me growing out of that and being blessed enough to live long enough to be out of that.
Right.
I never even did that. I wish that wasn't an option for my life. I wish some people was actually there that cared, and a government and that would apply the money properly to help us, but would much rather lock us up. This was by design. We're in poor communities, redlining, slavery, Jim Crow. This is real life. I'm not talking excuses.
Yeah.
This is real life.
You know what's funny?
Real quick, because I just literally, because of my recent appointment, I just found somebody sent a letter in on me that's in the movement to not have me in there because I'm a former. Come on now. I was a kid. I'm damn near 40 years old. I ain't did nothing like that in 10 years. I'm a good dude. But because of that, that's something I went through. I grew through. That should have never been on the table in the first place.
But you know, it's spiritual. You know, like when you, it's spiritual, because you know, after you have gotten your life together, and see, the thing about it is, after you've been on that side and you know the dark side, once you come to the light, you see the dark on the light side. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of times people are intimidated by the fact that you can see through them. That's from my experience, is that, you know, and I don't consider myself to be from the street. I'm from the club. Like, I feel like I wasn't on the street. I wasn't outside. So, I mean, I'm very technical like that.
Inside, outside, carpet.
But, you know, it's people that are in the movement that's very toxic right now. Because we are disrupting the status quo. We're disrupting some things that they have been able to just do and move through, just because they used to categorizing and putting people in little compartmentalizing people and putting them in groups and just throwing them away and just acting like they have the upper hand on certain situations, And so to understand that it's a spiritual battle and that the enemy sees that you are free and attacks, your character like they attack mine. I mean, think about the backlash I got for scriptures for strippers, please. From every side. I mean, the church people, any people. Okay, so I get it, you know what I mean? But it's like as long as you know what you're doing and you helping people that respect you, these are the people you talk to, the people that can't nobody else talk to. You're helping the people that can't nobody else reach. And it's for some people, it's just safe to be able to know who to hate. And but at the same time,
they ain't dealt with themselves.
Exactly.
And really when it come down to it, is your happiness. How do you feel about you? Because other people's opinion of you is none of your business. Okay. Yeah. So like my folks, my real people I'm doing this for, they love the hell out of me. Right. Men, women, survivors, they love me.
Right.
You know what I mean? And because I love them and they know I'm speaking the real for them. Everybody that's ever attacked me has never had never had a conversation with me. So I could care less. It does bother a little bit, but other than that, I know what I'm doing. And honestly, it ain't for you. You know what I mean? It's for my folks that no one is paying attention to. It's for my people. It's for my people that don't even know your anti-movement exists.
Right. It's right. And they not even gonna reach the people, they're not. And that's the thing about us having this conversation about moving the movement forward. It's a lot of people that's talking about the movement, but they're not moving.
So then it's not a movement. I mean, just debate. What's the word? Like, what you say? What would you say? Move.
Right. Right. So do this. Tell us about the prevention work that you're doing and why it's so important.
Okay, so prevention, because it's bigger than pimping and prostitution and stripping. There's some things that led people to go into those lifestyles: drug dealing, some kind of hustle. You know what I mean? I went to prison, but it wasn't for pimping. I went for hustling weed. I needed money. I wanted to make money. I wanted to make my way out. That was just a tool. And if there wasn't no buyer, it wouldn't be no supplier. But anyway, so prevention for us ain't just having an anti-pimp or no, we need to teach our people from the beginning, get into the middle schools, which is the most crucial age group to hit the kids at in the hood is middle school. Right. Because once you in high school, you kind of think you figured out your avenue. You kind of already moving them steps. And then what happens from high school, you get caught now. That's a lot of us, not everybody, but from what I've seen firsthand is you get caught. But in middle school, you still borderline a kid from kid age till you merging into high school. And that's when we start experimenting with gang banging, smoking, whatever. But you at the point, really, everybody was a wannabe. And a certain circumstance could have led you another way. But so the prevention starts then, working with the kids then. And you can't keep a kid poor for that long. We too smart. We know natural kings, queens. I'm looking at this shit on BET and music videos, and I know I see somebody that look like me with all this shiny stuff. They're telling me the wrong way to get it. So I want to get it. So a lot of kids, a lot of the crimes and things that kids get into are based off of poverty. So if we teach them how to get money correctly from then, if we build up your self-esteem then, rather than what the school does, who does not know how to teach you, but instead put a learning disability on you, ADHD. Now they don't have ADHD. You just don't know how to reach them. They know every song that's on the radio right now verbatim. That means they're intelligent some kind of way.
Right.
You're the wrong teacher delivering it the wrong way to these kids in the hood. So eventually, we wasn't stupid. I've been hustling since I was 12. I've been marketing, distributing, packaging. I've been doing that since I was a kid, naturally. So if the proper mentors and people was there to show you how to utilize those skills, they wasn't. My first sight of the game was Pimp Sub Hoes Down on HBO.
Wow. Okay, let me tell you something right quick. Let me tell you something. Okay, so somebody's asking a question. Somebody's asking a question, right?
What's up?
They're asking me what made me start dancing, right? So the fact that you just brought up music videos, I saw a music video by Kids Rock. First of all, I love Kids Rock even right now. But I'm from Atlanta. I still live in Atlanta. Kids Rock, Yeah, shawty, yeah. If you see that video and you
Mm.
see all the girls dancing on the stage, they getting their little money. To me, from my 11, 12-year-old perspective, it's a dance contest. They get money, and whoever dances the best get all that money, right? I never lost a dance contest in my life. So
Hey.
for me, I'm like, oh, is this what we're doing?
Mm.
Where is this at? And how can I be down? I'm trying to sign up. You know what I'm saying? And
And
this was
getting paid
12.
for
At 12, wait a minute. At 12, this was my plan. This
it.
was
Mm.
like, oh, okay, if this is what they do. They wasn't naked. It wasn't no table dance. It was dancing on the stage. It was money. And I thought whoever, in my head, I put it all together myself. Whoever danced the best get that money. So that's what made me start. But it's a long story for me to stop dancing. I'm not really going to get into that. But to just speak to your point is that it is marketed toward our community, right? And it's a part of our culture. Like dancing is a part of our culture.
Right.
And if you
It just got twisted.
yeah, it's perverted. It has become perverted because of the culture and also the situation that we are in, where, like you said, we are trying to get money. We're trying to get paid. We don't have the same exposure to certain mentalities and information about credit, and we don't have legacy money and trust funds and stuff like that to set us up to get us there, right? So for me, it was an aspiration so that I could live my dream and get my little money. But of course, it's other stuff in it, but you don't really know what you're getting into. You just have your plan when you get in, right? And so
Right.
I listened to a podcast with you. I love your podcast, by the way.
Thank you.
So you have the women on there that's speaking about how it was just trying to make it. Like it wasn't people people try to make it seem like it's something that is not because they've never experienced it. But the way you described how you and your homegirls got into it, can you just very briefly, just talk about how that came, like
Yeah.
where that came from? Because it came from an innocent place for me.
Right. So it was a wave. It was a humongous wave in my city in San Diego. It
Okay.
wasn't just me. It wasn't a small pocket. It was the coolest thing to do was pimping, prostituting, stripping, or escorting. Girls would talk about other girls if they wasn't in. I seen not everybody lasted in it. Nerds.
What year was that?
2000, excuse me, 1997, 98, it started exploding where
Okay.
it was now. That was the thing, but everything has a root. I'm not a surface dude. How
Okay.
I've studied this. How did it get there? Okay. And it's laid out in my book, but you'll break, there was a war on black communities, black and brown communities, majorly black people called crack cocaine. That was introduced to the hoods on purpose. This is right after the civil rights movement, the 70s, Black Panther, us organizations, they were strategically knocked down.
Right.
Trumped up charges or just straight murdered. Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, all black leadership was, I'm not making this up. This ain't no conspiracy theory. Their own writings, their own documentaries out there. There's a guy named J. Edgar Hoover, COINTELPRO, who strategically was looking for the black messiah in his own writing, head of the FBI. And they did that and killed off all black leadership of this movement that was brewing. The Bloods and the Crips they existed then, but they were defending the hoods from white racist attacks. They weren't what they become after. Then here all suddenly we have this thing called the rock cocaine, the prison industrial complex blowing up, parents taken away from kids, the what's it called? The foster care system blowing up, all this.
Wow.
They're saying now that the war on drugs was wrong, but because they know. They of some people who were already in a bad spot, already in poverty, already redline, already segregation, already this happens. More attacks. We cannot overlook this. This is terrorism. So you want to see where we got now? I'm not blaming these kids. This is where it came from. After that, the crack epidemic, where at times when the same equal amount of cocaine powder, you would get 2 years. Somebody has rock cocaine, which poor people had because this was expensive. This was cheap. They knew what they were doing. It gave them 15 years. 3-strike law come in, right? So now we have these gangbangers, young kids with no fathers, crack babies with it in their system. fighting over blocks and some drugs and money that they never had before. This was not a problem before. You've never seen a black man on some, like, well, you never seen a blood and crip where we're killing each other over the color of a rack. This was done. So now they're getting locked up. They're monsters. We're showing this not how it was created. So I was born in 81. So I'm in the midst of the gang bang era, the crack era, seeing my aunties, uncles, seeing it. And then, so I got to see what the crack did. So we didn't do crack like that. Crack is dead, but it's there, but not like it was. So when I was in school, we used to talk about, oh, your mama a crackhead. You know, I was a clown. That wasn't a good thing. So you knew to stay away from there a little bit.
Yeah.
Gang banging shit was cute then now, because that was the new thing and the new cool. So everybody gang banging. Even if you didn't, girls dated gang bangers. They represented the set wherever they was from, where I'm from on this West Coast. Now we plugging, you know. So I grew up under the main gang banging era. So I got to see them die, go to jail. I got to see 3 strikes. So yeah, I still merged into that. I started off as a wannabe gang member in my junior high school years. But we saw so many deaths. We got to learn from them. That way, you didn't know all the way, but you knew that ain't too cool. There was a point in the period where we said gangbanging was out around 2000. We were like, gangbanging, you can't get no money like that. But now, you know, gangbang rap, gangster rap was big. Snoop, all this stuff was big across this country. Then we said with Pac, all that. Then we said gangster rap died, right? But now we had a money rap. We had Cash Money. Not before Cash Money, No Limit really came out with the gold tanks, big ass rims. When nobody riding old schools no more. We want a Lexus. We want a Benz. I call that the bling bling era. That's what our kids are seeing now. You know, grafting towards the music. Everything's money now. So we have an urge for money now. Psychological shit. You know, so gangbanging done now. I'm gonna break it down. I'm gonna stop. I know I'm going in, but this did not come from nowhere. Right. So we don't know how to get it, but gangbanging don't bring you no money. The crack is.
You know what? Just the whole introduction of the American dream, right?
It's a nightmare for some. You know what I'm talking about? Right. So you know, we've been getting flashes and looking at the American pie, but settling for the American crumb our whole life. I'm good. So now I'm smart. I'm going for it, and I don't know how. But HBO showed me a documentary of some black dudes and black women at the time looked happy, had money, and I'm like, oh, I can do that. I could do that. So I tried, and we tried, and all these kids tried.
So when you did you go to your female friends and show them that, or did you ask them if they saw the same thing? Did y'all watch the same?
It was big at that time. It just came out. It was big. You didn't ask nobody. We was trying to do it in real life, but yeah, we kept playing though. And then what's it called that made the brothers that made not John Singleton, the Hughes brothers. They made Men's Society or Boys in the Hood. Like, they were hot at the time. They made Men's Society, and then they came out with American Pimp. Just backdoored it. And then if you notice, around that time, all the rappers just start talking pimp, and all of a sudden, Snoop Dogg wasn't on gangsterism no more. He grew his nails out, had a perm, and was coming out with women on leashes. Like, Snoop, you're a gangster. Snoop, you've been married to your wife since you were 19. When did you pimp? You've been rich since you were 19. I love E40. All of a sudden, but I love him, but he went deeper, all pimping. Bro, you went to college, got married to your high school sweetheart. You're married. Why is everybody talking pimping? Nelly Pimp Juice. Go watch that Nelly Pimp Juice video. Everybody in that video was a real pimp from a pimp down. So we just got confirmation after confirmation. This is what it was. You had Jay-Z on that boat with UGK on there. Big Pimp, Spending G. What big pimping on BLADs, on Blades.
I remember that.
We know the rest of the world's dancing to it. These songs is getting platinum hits. But our young minds is like, oh yeah, this is it.
Yeah.
Constant. Everything was, we got it forced on us. This was an era, and we went into it. And once again, for those people who got their hands in the ears and don't want to hear me, I'm not condoning it. This is just what happened. And if you you don't know, shut up, man.
You know what? The thing about it is,
same things out there. They need help. They need real help, not jail.
So I'm gonna ask you this question. So, and you kind of hit on it already, but the importance of prevention and introducing boys and young men to prevention programs, what does that actually look like? I guess in lieu of to substitute and replace those images
Right.
of
So
what you just described.
I'm designing a curriculum right now as we speak. I got a book done for elementary, junior high, and high school called Walk With Me. So yeah,
Okay.
it's a great question right now. So first of all, from the beginning, there's a self-hate in that young. I'm speaking specifically for Black men myself. I'm an
Okay.
expert. I've been there. I'm that. You know what I mean? I live that.
Okay.
They need to believe in themselves from the beginning. They've been smashed down since with media, with things that psychological stuff since the beginning.
Yeah.
From a lack of fathers being in the household because of that, you know,
Yeah.
that is the start. That's
Mm-hmm.
the start. And then being taught how to really make money.
Okay.
Really. If they're not taught and they're just kept in this low, we want too much now. That kid wants to have that fake ass money phone on his head. He wants that now.
Yeah.
If you don't teach them how to make money the right way, that's it. That, in a nutshell, you want to stop a kid, you want to stop a young Black man from pimping who got these skills, make him believe in himself and show him how to make money the right way.
What about their
Nobody wants to be a
relationship?
pimp when they grow up.
What about developing a new mentality or relationship with women?
100%, but that's all men. Period. Now that's not a color, that's
Right.
not a religion. America, today's society, from the time you're born, teaches men that women are through media, through pictures. When you're walking through that grocery aisle, when you're watching that commercial, and you see that woman with a hat, with a bikini on, selling that cheeseburger, sex sells in this country, in this world right now. So it's more than that. Kids, men are taught that from birth. And girls are also seeing the same images, so they thinking that's what it is for them. So it's that. So we, if this that problem is bigger than us, how do we stop this multi-trillion-dollar industry of advertisement and media? Because this psychologically, it's been happening. Playboy is an accepted magazine. You know, there's these things that, and they don't even have to be the National Enquirer. Like literally the grocery store, the TV. These images where women are either sexual or worth a dollar amount. They're all taught that. That's why tricks trick. That's why women are there, because they don't even believe in themselves. That are, you know, or it's a thing that happened. Like, or that's what an image. Yeah, that's cool. Like you had even said, you watching the videos right now, a girl watching Cardi B who loves Cardi B. That's okay.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Hey, Beyonce, come on! Hey, what? The last Nicki Minaj album, I know people burnt out on that, but like she had a song like, if you're not getting paid for it, and she ain't necessarily even talking about hoeing, you know. But
Yeah.
but it's okay. So this is bigger, and this is across the board, because all men don't. Look, women still fighting for equal pay right now. There was just a Me Too movement. This ain't no old and ain't no one race. So that's been taught to all men, all women, and we're just coming out of it because this whole society's been crooked and messed up and built for one type of individual since day one. None of this is new. None of it's new. None of it's new. So, hey, human sex trafficking and labor trafficking, the largest epidemic ever happened in the transatlantic slave trade. Period. This is learned behavior. But now they're getting locked up. What's new? It ain't nothing new. It's just something new to lock up. Human sex trafficking is a new term. That came out, 4 or 5 years ago. Before that, it was pimping and plundering. But that was an easy pill to swallow. So now they give these. Honestly, right? My friend left 10 minutes before this started. My young friend, as we had a whole conversation about how he was indicted for trafficking, and 1,000% wasn't. Man, father of his kids, he was in a RICO federal indictment, and just picked him. This man was sleeping on couches, a bum kid. Gave him 2 years of a sentence, but he ended up doing 6 just from violation of probation, coming back home, having to restart, snort a little cocaine, smoke something. No new crime, but they squeezed 6 years out of this young man's life. He's just now starting back over again. So these are real life situations, right? So that I don't know, hey, but this is real. There's some crazy people out there. Everybody who does some crazy shit or hurts somebody or does something evil to a person deserves to be punished, right? 100%. But Prison is not the answer to it's not the solution to everything. It's some kids out here that really, really need help.
Yeah.
And there's some girls and guys. There's girls out there that there's pimping that's getting locked up for being with a girl who was already in the game before him. He goes to jail. She's still in the game after him, but he went to jail. We got that sponsor. No. Help the people. Help them.
So I have a question. So let me ask you this. So as we talk about moving the movement forward, what do you think needs to happen for the movement to move?
A lot of these people that calling themselves experts and leading this need to sit their ass down and pay correctly the right lived experience experts to guide this. Don't tokenize them.
Can you say it again? Go ahead. Excuse me. I'm sorry. Repeat that again. Bring that back.
It's the right, because just because you've been in the game don't mean you smart and you can lead nothing. I know hella people that shouldn't lead a piece of toast to the toaster that was in the game.
Right.
So get the right lived experience experts, geniuses out there, geniuses.
Yeah.
Properly pay them as the expert, like you will one of these Harvard graduate experts, and let them lead the charge. You follow your position, because we need everybody. You're not invaluable. You're very valuable too, because there's some things we didn't pick up that we do need. I need you to type, because I'm not a type. I need you to do this research. I'm not going to do it right. There's some things that are needed that you have skill level in, but pay appropriately lived experience experts to guide this. I hate when I go in a meeting. Hey, for the past 4 years, everybody will say, "Where's the gaps?" Motherfucker, we acknowledge the gaps 5 years ago. When we gonna fill them? Can we have a meeting about filling the gaps?
Okay, so look, let's talk about. Let me read some of these comments from Facebook, because for some reason I'm not able to put them on the screen like I did for YouTube.
Hey, mad at me? I'm sorry. I'm telling the truth. Don't be mad.
Go ahead. I mean, listen, you'll learn me. I'm all about the truth. You get it. You
all good.
So my friend Keisha Wallace says, changing the narrative. That's what I think a lot of times people who've been involved in the industry can do, is help see other angles of this movement so that it can actually move. Because I feel like it won't move because people keep trying to pigeonhole and make it be the same story over and over and over again.
You know why it has to be that same story? Because the story that's told, whoever they design, is perfect, because this is what gets the money.
Yeah, but see, that's the re-exploitation. Let's talk about
white girl with bruises on her head.
Wait.
And all on her body.
Let's talk about the re-exploitation part. The re-exploitation.
You don't want to talk about that.
Yes, I do. I just asked that on purpose. But let's talk about the re-exploitation of the survivors as they are transitioning.
Who does that? These organizations do that? Are you trying to tell me these organizations use survivors for their story so they can make more money and their organization can grow and their pockets can grow and they can feel like they help somebody? No, you ain't saying that. You ain't saying re-exploitation of even lawyers making you tell your story over and over and over again, not give you nothing for no counsel. You still got to go home to your poor family. You barely keeping gas in your gas tank, but you just made these people some odd $1,000. You know what I mean? You're not talking about that. You're not talking about, can you please come to my event? Can you please speak on my panel and take this Starbucks gift card? You are not talking about that. Keeping this thing hyped so that people can keep paying money and you feel like you're big because your title says anti-human sex trafficking counselor, blah, blah, blah. And you finally found something that's satisfying your life because you honestly didn't know what you was going to do either. Not them that realize that this person in front of you is actually smarter and more gifted than you, but you condescending, you looking at her down because you feel like some kind of way your life is better. You ain't really looking at her like your sister. You ain't really talking to her like that and wonder why your retention is so low. Because people why people keep going back to pimping, because maybe he had a better plan than that bogus 6 months you let them stay in. Or the house you didn't let them stay in because they had kids. Or the house you wouldn't let them stay in because they wouldn't say, I was trafficked. Because they wouldn't say that. So you don't help them unless they say that. Yeah. Or you get them and you keep talking to them until they believe they was trafficked. When really, no, I was just out there for survival. I was in the gang getting money. Most of the girls I know don't have no pimp right now today, but they still out there. They need the same help.
Wow.
#in poverty. How about that?
Wow.
They said we're gonna end human sex trafficking. You cannot until you end poverty.
Come on.
Oh my God, you leave me no other options but my body to make money, and I don't believe I could do anything else. What else am I gonna do? God damn it. Come on now. Quit playing with this. That's why it ain't moving nowhere, because they playing. They playing. And the real people that know how to make it move, they're not acknowledging.
Well, the thing about it, when we started this conversation, you talked about how somebody sent in a letter against you. And see, the thing about it is gang recognize gang.
100.
And so that's the thing about trying to pigeonhole somebody and make sure that they are not in a position to expose other people. And so the reason why I wanted to make sure we had this conversation so that we could move the movement forward is because there are going to be some people that are very upset because we're going to interrupt the status quo. We're going to come in. We're going to be able to identify.
I'm sorry. What does status quo mean again?
The status quo is just how everything's been going. We just go interrupt everything.
That was a trick question. How everything's been going is fucked up for Black.
Well, that's the point. That's the point. I mean, they can come in and say,
mad, if someone gets mad for us interrupting a crooked, evil system, then what does that say about that person that's mad?
Yeah,
I don't have time for him. You're mad because we're interrupting a racist, crooked, unjust system. Well, then
when you think about who's benefiting from it, that's why we have to talk about moving the movement, because we have to make sure that the money that's being raised is actually going toward the people that is trying to help.
Come on.
That's what I want to do. That's what I want to make sure happens. I got to make sure that the people that I show up for, I can actually get the money that has been donated to support them in their transition. That's what I'm on right now. That's what I'm trying to be.
And don't get me wrong. This work is hard, and dealing with a population of people, traumatized people, is hard. And you should be compensated for your work.
Yeah.
But if you're being greedy, if you're over and beyond and not compensating, or even giving the job opportunities to live experience people who would actually, and really listening to them, not just having them on there so you can say, oh, we hired to. No, are you really taking what they're saying into not just consideration, into action? Because they know.
Yeah.
Then it's a problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then it's a problem.
So what are the needs of the people that need to transition where you are?
And once at this point in time, still that belief in themselves, and then a job, and then some financial opportunity that's really gonna work, and mentorship along the way. Because once somebody's really ready to move on, what I've learned, especially if you've been in a game, is understanding that, because you start feeling guilty. Part of the reason why a lot of people stay in the shit is because they feel like they can't do nothing else. This is all they're worth. Even if they're not saying it, they feel that like, I can't do nothing else. And they kind of give up and just stick around. So they need to believe and understand. That's why I really push transferable skills. Once you realize, nah, homie, you're dope. You're sharp. You got skills. We might have been applying them in this way, and that was a negative or not so good way. But if you realize and figure out how to utilize those skills that you get in the game and apply it to whatever you like, you're going to beast. You're going to win. So somebody needs to really tell and have that person believe that, for one, and then give them the opportunity to actually exercise that once you turn it on. Because it's one thing to just inspire somebody and get them to believe in themselves, and then there's nothing to, you got to kind of help them in that too. So that's number two. Okay. And then the mentorship along the way, because there's some trauma involved. They need proper mentorship and guidance along the way to this positive. You do those three things. That's how you help somebody really transition out. Because they didn't believe in themselves at the beginning. Now, and as you go through it, you believe that's it. We psychologically tell ourselves this is it. You make yourself, pimp and girl in the game, you make yourself think what you're doing is good. I don't care what you say. We even created the mad God, the pimp God. We had to think about psychologically. And the people that are so deeply spiritual and connected to God, moms was in the church, all that, they have that in them, had to psychologically create a God beside God to be okay with what we were doing. Because
what does that mean? What do you mean by that?
Oh, Have you ever heard of anybody refer to the Mad God or Pimp God? Ever?
No,
Okay.
I never heard it.
Okay, so pimping that for a long time. You'll hear it now. You may even hear it on some old documentaries. But pimping, when you're in the game, you would say, the Mac God bless me, the Pimp God bless me. You would say this, Pimp God, thank you. Even to point, some people, it's so deep in it, will pray to the Pimp God. That's what the Bible said. I'm being real. So,
Jesus.
but
Sorry.
realizing the understanding is a lot of these people were spiritual people, but in your head, you know what you're doing behavior wise is not okay with God.
Wow.
So it's like how people even create an alternate personality. It's similar. It's a slight sense of that. And I knew that I never said that growing up, but I would peep that out. You know what I mean? And some people did. Yeah, it was real.
That's crazy.
I don't know how we got there, but that was real. Anyway, yeah.
But that's borderline. That's on some spiritual abuse type of stuff. I mean, I don't know. That's a whole nother conversation right there. That's deep. That's real deep right there. But so when you were talking about what's needed, I'm gonna put that back up here. The needs are mentorship, job opportunities, transferable skills.
And
so
not
as
even
we talk
necessarily job opportunities. Many of us were entrepreneurs.
Okay, so I'm gonna put opportunities. I'm gonna say this.
Yeah.
As a person, like that is what I do. The mentorship piece, and then like I'm actually in a place where I'm making a curriculum too, and it's to help women redevelop and connect to cover the concept of love, power, value, and shame, to be turned back into a human, rehumanized, seeing themselves as a person, seeing themselves as a person with human qualities like emotions, thoughts, their own things. And so, and also to help them see that all of the skills that they have are transferable. You know what I'm saying? They have a lot of transferable skills. I mean, if you want to do something, if you want something from somebody, you know how to get it. You know what I mean? You know how to get it. And that's what you've been doing in the street. You just have to make sure that you transfer that. Because a lot of times when women transition, they try to figure out how to just be different. They just want to be another person. They just want to be a totally different person. I'm like, the thing about it is you are well off in certain, because you still need that edge. You still need that street smart. You're going to need that discernment. You're going to be, because when you go into this office.
School, different program.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so I got a good question from my good friend Shonda Santana. Do you know Shonda
Santana? No, I don't.
That's my girl. Okay, so yeah, get with her.
She must be an awesome person, but no, I don't know.
Yeah, she is. Okay, so she's asking a question on Facebook. She says, what models have you seen or experienced in the U.S. that you respect and feels like works for survivors in transition? Do you see anything that's good? Or have you experienced any models that are helpful to women in transition?
Ours.
Okay. So what about that is the most helpful? Like what part of it is the part that needs to be duplicated?
The part that we don't even call it no survivor, nothing. Don't even bring that up because we know it's just our folks in our community. That's not even the focus. We just work on them and give them that opportunity and guide. We all know what we know because we're from that. We ain't outsiders. Prostitution and pimping is a piece of our problem in the community. So without being that, we don't separate. And, that's why a lot of people don't go to survivor program. Like, huh? Don't even register with some words. Human sex trafficking. No, I was in the game or I was hoeing. I was in that. So you lose them already with your verbiage, So how things work. I'm being hold on. I'm being very, very specific.
Okay.
So what I call urban domestic human sex trafficking or pimping and prostitution that goes on in the hood. I'm not an expert at nothing else. Other. But people all box them in. I'm not part of them people. They're very distinct and different. And I'm an expert at this one. So how do you work with that population of women, my homegirls that we've done and seen come out in like for 14 years, 20 years in the game, all that in the game is we don't have a program that's called Survivor Nothing. We don't even push that. We help them in the ways we know how to help them, and we don't separate them. I mean, we have a women's program, but we have programs that is both. You might get a program where it's a former peak, current, and a girl that was in the game. We from the community. We each other. We family. We don't separate it like outsiders do to make it something separate.
Wow. Okay. Can you hear me? I do not know. I do not know what just happened. That was extremely.
Your picture just switched. You like it's your picture right now.
That was crazy. Okay. All right. Go ahead. I don't know what just happened. It just went off. I'm like, okay, go ahead.
No, so just programming that builds the person, and back to those things, those 3 points I told you, having programming that has that, a lot of programming that's out there, they are built to keep survivors as survivors in victimhood, and not really building them to thrive, not really tapping into their transferable skills, helping them succeed. It's more of a woe is me, I saved you, you're the victim, I'm the savior, I feel good for being a savior, and I keep you in victimhood. I keep you as a survivor. And then if you don't fit the certain age bracket, you couldn't even come in the first place. But yeah, so and
so you help all ages. So the ages that you talk to are what ages? What age group?
All ages. We have a target, but we all ages. We don't turn out. The only program where it's age is our middle school program, but they're in middle school, so you have to, But other than that, all of our programs, I don't care how old you are. We have a special like little situations because we may have a grant. Like right now, we have a grant to help 18 to 24-year-olds that were formerly incarcerated get jobs. So something like that, we have guidelines for. But our programs, we've had 10-year-olds, we've had 75-year-olds in the same program.
Okay. And how long does the program last? Like how long does it typically last?
All of our programs are based off a 10-weekend. Like our women's program starts next month, and you should take it because it's virtual now, so you can take it from wherever you at. But it's called Jewel, Guiding and Empowering Women Entrepreneur Leaders for Success. The target population of that program is human sex trafficking survivors, women. But the door is open to everybody from who wants to take it, and maybe like 50% of the women that take it are survivors. But everybody else is just women that want to learn, network, get business skills, entrepreneur skills, and have this family built. So our program.
What's the name of that?
Jewels. GEWELS. And you can go when you go to our website, it's under the programs you can register and take it on Zoom. Just peep it out. You know what I mean? Pop in. It's really dope.
So it's on the pavinggreatfutures.org website.
Yep. Yes, ma'am. It's
okay.
There. Yeah.
All right. So if anybody is interested in looking into that, I got a few people that I know for a fact could benefit from that. I want you to go to www.pavinggreatfutures.org and sign up for the Jewels program. I think I'm gonna sign up too. Because I can't.
I tell them I take every program we have. I'm learning every time. We got the guest speakers coming in. I tell people, man, I'm a student too. Every time, constantly learning. You know what I mean? And just being able to add your energy, add your skills, add things to the table too. We grow together.
So I wanted to also let you know that I do a virtual support group for women in transition. So it's a call in. It's like a okay. So that website is streaming on the bottom of the feed. Is pavinggreatfutures.org. Somebody asked what the website is. It's right there. I didn't want anybody to have to figure out what to write down. I tried to put it on here. But after you go on the website, then you'll be able to see Jewels, and then you can sign up from there. So what I was going to say was I did the virtual support group so that nobody would have to be seen, but they could still get support for, because for me, when I was trying to lead a lifestyle, it was hard because I was trying to figure out what else to do. But easy money is crazy to leave. It ain't easy to leave. So just trying to have support in transition is really important and a part of mentorship. So usually at Saturdays at 9, which is when we get off of here, that's what I'm going to be doing, is opening up the I'm going to be opening up the he muted. Okay. Hey, welcome back. So I'm gonna be opening up the virtual support group, and it's a free conference call number. You call the number. As soon as you call, you already in the room. You don't have to worry about an access code or nothing like that. And we talk. And you don't have to talk. You can just listen. You can share or not share, but you can get inspired. you can get encouraged, and there's never any judgment. So somebody asked on Facebook, have you ever heard of the Higher Hope program through Randstad? Have you heard of that?
No.
I have heard. I've heard that, Rachel. Somebody on my Facebook group is asking about that. I have seen that. So if you contact Randstad and let them know about your program, that's probably somebody that could benefit from your curriculum, Mr. King. And you know what, I want to high five you for all of the hard work that you're doing, you know, and I know that you suffer a lot of attacks from this, but I just want to let you know I'm gonna be praying for you, and I'm going to be you know, in the background cheering and supporting you. I have colleagues who love you after they read the book. Lord Jesus, that lady was just like, you're gonna talk to him. So and her name is Heidi. Heidi wants to shout you out.
Hey, what's up, Heidi?
And my apostle is watching. Hey, apostle, I love you.
Queen,
But
can I
yes,
say something? Hey, I get 10 times as much love as I do hate. I don't even see the hate. Like it comes and but
I just want to let
I
you know
love
I'm not worried about the hate. I'm not worried
right,
about
me
the hate.
neither.
I'm just talking about me. I'm talking about what I'm gonna do.
That ain't none of my business.
Right. What I'm gonna do is I want to make sure that I am connected with you so that I can make sure that I'm putting out what it is. Whatever you push out, I'm gonna push out down here because you all the way in California, I'm all the way in Georgia. But at the same time, you have to be duplicated in order for this to work, right? You have to be in 1,000 places at one time. And because of COVID, we can do that. I saw your post you had put where you was like in 3 different places. That was funny. But just knowing that you are using your past to help other people come forward and just kind of blossom and bloom. When I talk to women, I talk about them coming out of a shell or hatching, you know, like you are in there and you're coming out. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to stay dedicated to being who you always was. You know, and I want you to talk to we got 7 minutes left. I want you to speak to somebody who is dealing with some stuff, who is trying to be different, but they don't really know how and where to start and how they can move forward in transitioning and getting help for themselves and being different.
Well, apparently, hopefully, this person wants to do something different. I'll say do something.
They want to.
Okay. Well, man, just do it. There's some people that really don't have no idea what they want to do. I want to do this. I want to be this type of person. So if you're one of those type of people and you want to do something different, but you're just not sure what it is, I'd say start just explore. You know, I love the internet. Look around. What got your attention? What is your hobby? If you have a hobby or something that out of everything, you may not know, that might not even be the for sure thing, but it's an avenue. And once you start going down that rabbit hole and you're actually applying yourself to wanting to do something and change it better, it's going to start coming to you. But it take taking that risk. It take not doing the same stuff you was doing. Sometimes it's scary to change and to not do what you've been used to doing. Right. But you gotta jump out there. You gotta try it. And don't think if that thing fails that's the end. No, try stuff. Get out there, especially like for people I know that's been in the game and hustling for years, and they don't know nothing else. I just lost my brother to that. He was so scared. He knew he couldn't do this no more. He didn't want to do this. He wasn't winning with this no more. Wow. He told me he went on his last run. I'll be back, Armand. And he was shot in the head in 2 weeks in Houston. So I know those people that don't know, and you just been so used to it and psychologically telling yourself this is it for so long. You have to take that risk. And what that looked like for you, my suggestion, because it's just my opinion, it don't mean that's what's what. But I would think about, what do I like? I don't care if it's the weirdest thing in the world to your friends. Who cares? You're making this change. This for you. You like collecting Smurf dolls. You could find a way to make bread with that. You can make a podcast about Smurfs. You could vlog about Smurfs. You could keep it popping. Yeah. In this day and age, you like, go do it and keep maneuvering till it might be something about the Smurfs you end up liking. Oh, it's the doll clothes that come on it. But you didn't know that because you never gave yourself that opportunity but just start searching. And what they say, you seek it, you'll find it. It's there. I don't know what it is for you per se. Everybody's different. And one thing for sure, stop worrying about what outside people think about you, and you'll find it a lot more clear. But go. You got to take what they say, jump off the cliff and grow your wings as you land, not knowing you yet to take that risk. Hey, you took that risk when you hopped out on that stage on that blade, and you took that risk when you put that pistol in the car, when you sacked that up and you drove across state. You took that risk then. You took that risk out there not knowing who was going to kill you, stab you, shoot you, go into jail for life. You took that risk then.
It's all a risk.
Life is a risk. The day you were born, it became a risk. So take that risk and step outside of what you've been used to.
I agree. Somebody's asking, what about people who need to move out of their current situation? Where do they go? That's Lena. Hey, Lena. I think that I want to answer that one. So people who want to, okay, she said, I think that the hardest part is taking care of yourself from scratch. You know, for me, it's transitioning your mindset to live in a different way to get money different. You know, having the budget killed me, almost killed me. I almost died from trying to budget. I almost died at the thought of having to wait for a check. Oh my God. You know what I'm saying? Like sheesh kebabs. You hear what I say? I was literally over it. You know, then you get the little money and then you're looking at the little check. You're like, Lord have mercy, they don't took the money out. They don't took the taxes. I just felt violated on so many levels. Like, I mean, yikes. And so that was the hard part for me, was to try to adjust and adapt my life. But that was very essential. You know what I mean? Like I had to literally say, I'm not better than these regular people. I'm not better than nobody else. You know what I mean? Like if people can live like this, I can live like this too. It just takes discipline. And the discipline that it required for me actually helped me grow and like outgrow the game. Like it made me expand. And so, you know, as I was out of breath and, you know, convulsing from just having to wait on my money, and it was very humbling. And I feel like that's a big process that we all have to go through when we're transitioning too. I had to be humble. You know, I had to say, listen, I don't want to do it this way anymore. I got to learn how to do it a different way. I have to know what I don't know, and I have to be willing to learn some new stuff. And like you said, be vulnerable and taking a risk, just doing something else. You know what I mean? And taking the loss, knowing I'm getting ready to lose, but at the end, I'm a gain. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm gonna lose initially. I'm not gonna be able to get to this cash, but I'll be able to hold on to some of my dignity, and I'll be gain some confidence in another area of myself. You know, knowing that I can live off of another skill that I have. You know, I'm a salesperson. That's what I know I am. You know, I sold cars, I don't sold houses, I don't sold jewelry, I don't sold art, I don't sold all kind of stuff, insurance, real estate, you know. But just knowing that you can use your skill in another place and taking the time to transfer it, you know, and not trying to hold on to your old lifestyle. That's the key for me that I know. You can still live, but you don't have to have that same lifestyle. And once you wrap your mind around knowing that you can let go of that lifestyle and you're still gonna be alive, then you'll be able to move and you'll be able to stay away from that life. I hope that answered the question. But that's just my experience. And I mean, I know other people have their experience, but for me, because I didn't have any addiction that was complicating it. You know what I mean? A lot of people have like drug addiction, alcohol addiction that ruins their life. Some people drink and they're able to function or whatever. That's not the problem. The problem for me was addicting to money, the addiction of having to get that same amount every day. You know, I need the 500 a day. You know,
I couldn't sleep if I didn't have $1,000 a day.
Yeah, that's what I'm just saying. I mean, like I said, minimum, right? So it's kind of like, and people are like, what? And you like, what you mean? And so it's like, let me wrap my mind around not getting that and still living. And that was my first step. Like, okay, I don't have to get $500 a day to be alive. Whoo! Okay, let that sink in. Just breathe. You know what I mean? I'm like, okay, they're living, they okay. Because at the end of the day, during that time of life, I had less. I had nothing. So I'm like, okay, well, and that's why I feel like I had to be broke all the way down to get nothing, so I can appreciate the little $250 a week or whatever that I was finna get after I came up off of the humbling process. But the point was just to embrace the fact that I'm not gonna live like that, and just be happy that I ever did live like that. You know, like some people never live like that. They don't have that experience. They don't know what that's like. And I'm like, well, I do, but I don't have it anymore, and I have to be able to deal with whatever I got to deal with to get to my new life. And I think a lot of people are not willing to do that, so they never make it out. But for the people who are willing to who are willing to embrace that, you will make it. You will make it. She said that's helped me getting off of a quota mindset.
Right.
Just what I need, not what I want, and knowing the difference. That's literally the thing. Knowing the difference between my needs and my wants, going after and being okay with having my needs met, and just knowing that my wants have to be my needs at this point. Only thing I want is what I need, period. I ain't worried about nothing else. Well, let me tell you something. It's 9:02. I know you got other stuff to do. Let me tell you something. I thank God for you. I appreciate you for taking the time out speaking with me. I want y'all to go and follow this man. I want y'all to buy his book. His book is called Raised in Pimp City. Can you hold it up again so they can see it? Boom. Raised in Pimp City. You have a YouTube channel. Go subscribe to his YouTube channel. Go and look at this podcast. Can you tell them how to get your podcast, your book, support your organization, how they can follow you on Instagram and Facebook and all that? Talk to the people.
Hey, people. Figure out what you like doing. If you're in this movement, figure out what you like doing and rock that. You don't have to play every position. And just whatever, just be happy, man. I don't care what it is you're doing. Find a way to be happy. My name is Armand King. I'm here to help. I'm here to be utilized, not used. They both start with you, but two totally different words. Just look, as far as social media, Armand King, you see the name right there. That's how you find me. YouTube. The organization I co-founded, I'm the COO of, is Paving Great Futures. Check us out. Look at the work we do. We're consistent. We don't sleep. We've been doing this for over 8 years now, and our whole mission is just to help people and save the people from this cycle of death and incarceration. Yeah, but that's how you find me. Podcast is Raised in Pimp City, same name as the book. You know, the book is on Amazon. Thank you for having me here. Thank you for sharing your platform with me. I don't take it lightly. I don't. Hey, my ego been in my back pocket a long time ago. It's so smashed. It's flatter than a dime. I really do appreciate this because you didn't have to ask me to do anything with you. You know what I mean? But I appreciate it and thank you for compliments. Just sharing your platform for real. You've been genuine. I like this, and anytime anything I could do to help you, please let me know. Okay.
I appreciate you. I'm gonna tell you something. God is getting ready to bless you. He's getting ready to do some stuff for
He
you.
already did. I woke up this morning.
He's getting ready to do some more stuff for you. As long as you continue to push forward, I know you will. I'm very thankful that you agreed to meet and speak with me. I'm very grateful that for all the work that you're doing as far as for men and for Black men specifically, because I'm not able to do that. And I have a son. And I know of other guys that I would like to help, but just to know that that I have a resource in you now, I'm excited. And so I just pray that we will stay in touch and that you will continue to be blessed in doing everything that you are doing. And yeah, so it's 9:05. Everybody go right now. Go, run, don't walk, run and follow him and keep up with what he's doing. Thank you so much for your time. And absolutely. I'm going to end the broadcast. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
So